Okay. If we are ready to go, as it is 6:30, I will call the Palos Township General Meeting to order. If we could please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
If we could have roll call, please.
Trustee Jeans?
Here.
Trustee Woods?
Here.
Trustee Woods?
Here.
Trustee Riley?
Here.
Trustee Brannigan?
Here.
Supervisor Schuman?
Present, and for purpose of record, I am at the township offices, 10802 Roberts Road in Palos Hills, for attendance of this Zoom meeting.
Okay, quorum, all present.
Thank you for that. If we could have a motion for approval of the prior meeting minutes dated May 11th, 2020.
So moved, Jeans.
Wood second.
Trustee Jeans made motion, seconded by Trustee Woods. Any questions? Any further discussion? Having none, if we could have roll call, please.
Trustee Brannigan?
Yes.
Trustee Woods?
Yes.
Trustee Riley?
Yes.
Trustee Jeans?
Yes.
Supervisor Schuman?
Yes.
Motion carried. Ayes have it, 5-0.
Okay, thank you for that. This evening, we have no special presentations or communications, reports of officials. So just letting everyone know that we are back open as we always have been, but doing a lot more health service business. Visitors that are visiting the building are wearing masks, as are the employees if patients and people are present within the building. So we're back to getting physicals and immunizations going for kids needing them for school and needing them for sports events and anything else that's pertinent to the immunization process. So that is what's happening at the township. Our food pantry continues to be very busy, and again, we're back seeing patients and seeing residents here in the administrative side. There's no questions regarding that. I will turn it over to Clerk Nolan.
Okay, good evening. I have a few things, but it won't be that long. Some of the things I put on there, they're different webinars I listened to, and I think I sent you guys the notes for those, something about the media, talking with the media and the papers, newspapers. The other thing was about elections. As much as I know right now, I'll have more to say later about that when I'm sure what I'm saying, because things are changing. So if you have any questions, from what I sent you, if not, on July 22nd, I will be going to Springfield, a special session on the election. I'll get there on the 22nd because it starts, I think, early in the morning on the 23rd, and I will then come back from there. Hopefully, it's going to be socially distanced and everything is supposed to be, so I'm looking forward to revamping myself in the whole election process, since I will be in charge of it for the township. So just let you know that. And the last thing is I just went on a Zoom meeting with MTA. We belong to Metropolitan Township Association, sorry. And I just sent you that today, so you probably didn't have a chance to look at that. But a couple things I want to tell you about that. And one of the things is for a long time, other townships were getting money from this CARES thing because of the pandemic. And Cook County, municipalities were getting no money, townships weren't, but now I guess Cook County board president is going to be giving money out. She's got a lot of money, and so if we want to ask for some, we could, because she's just started to let the money go, or to release it, if you want to put it now. So now Cook County will have it, and that's Brett Winkle, president. LIHEAP, if you know what that is, that helps people with different Utilities, that's going to start in July at the end. And the MTA, in case anybody wants to know, some of the trustees might want to know this. The MTA, this organization here, they're looking for a director of training and operations. If anyone knows anybody, they're still taking resumes. It's probably a good thing. It's probably well paid, I would think. It's probably up north though. And that summer symposium we did last 2 years, I went the first year, I didn't last year, is canceled because it's just no way with this that we can do all this. We can't do things we usually do because we can't be together for those things. So I think that's it. I will be back to you with more election stuff when I get it. And thank you.
Okay, thank you, Clerk Nolan. Attorney's report.
There's no legal report this evening, Madam Supervisor.
Thank you for such. Reports of standing committees, Finance and Administration, Trustee Woods.
Well, for the first time in a very long time, I have no report.
Okay, thank you for that. Policy and Personnel, we've had no new changes. We are looking forward to some manual changes as the state is preparing some new harassment and things that we have in place already, but there will be some updates on those coming up. So as they notify us of what we need to have done, I think we addressed this a little earlier in the year, but with the pandemic, it got a little slowed up. So as I find out more about that, should we need to update anything that we already have in place, I will bring that to the board's attention. Technology, Automation, and Information, Trustee Riley.
Yes, thank you. I just had a quick question for Trustee Woods in regards to our IT friend who tested positive. How is he doing?
He's fine, and follow-up tests are negative.
Excellent, excellent. Do we have a meeting lined up on the books with him yet by chance?
He's already begun the work.
Excellent, that's great news. And that was all I had. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Buildings and Grounds, Trustee Jeans.
I do have a gentleman coming to the township office on the 22nd. He is going to give us a price on saving money for all of the lights in the interior of the building. So we'll see if he can save us some money. That'll be great. So I will let Meg and Diane know that he's coming in on the 22nd, and I will meet him there. So
Okay.
if anybody else is interested, just to, I just think it's a good idea to see if we can save some money with the lighting.
Would that be like a LED lighting, like program that a lot of places are doing now? Is he
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
Involved with something along those lines?
Yes.
Pam, who is this person?
His name is Dan Drew, and he works with ComEd. He's not with ComEd, but he works with them hand in hand. I got him from Orland Fire District, had them do, he did all of their stations and saved them a lot of money. So I would like to, see if we can save some money too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And that's the end of my report, Madam Supervisor.
Okay, thank you very much. Public Services and Health, Trustee Brannigan.
No report.
Okay, no report. Is there any unfinished business before the board? Any new business before the board?
I have some, Clerk Nolan.
Okay.
I just is going to say this now. This may change, but I know I received something, but it's just stating a little bit about for the presidential election, that if you have changed your address, or if you've moved or you're changing your address, you will receive a mail-in ballot. If you have voted the last 3 years, you will then receive a mail-in ballot. I don't know how much farther that goes, and they haven't told me any more than that. So I don't know if that's going to change. I thought people might want to know that, just to know it. Also, if you want an application for a mail-in ballot yourself. You can get one at the township, but you have to come over. You've got to give us your name and address. You can come and get it, fill out your name with your name and address, or you can call and I will send it to you. But that's, if you want to do it that way too. So just the things I know so far, but I hesitate to say too much because I don't know how, what will change. And I have to find this out for myself. It's not like they're sending it to me. It's available, but anyone can look on that website themselves too. So that's all.
Okay. I'm sorry, what was that, Jane?
I said, in case somebody in the audience might want to know, but they can always call and, leave me a message too.
Okay. Any other new business before the board? Having none at this time, we will open up citizens wishing to address the board. Citizens wishing to address the board, it is a 2-minute limit. Your hand obviously is raised. That's how we know you want to speak. And at the end of the 2 minutes, your microphone will be turned off and everybody is afforded one opportunity to talk. You can't put your hand back up. And it is not, we will re-remind, it is for residents or participants of the meeting to have 2 minutes to speak what they're feeling, but it is not a question and answer session. So having that been said, we will move into that period. And I believe the first hand up is Nick. Go ahead, Nick.
Hold on a second. I have to find him. Give me a second.
Okay.
There he is. Okay, he's been authorized to unmute.
Okay, so I just have to raise some questions, just sort of, echo myself from last meeting. You say we're not allowed to have questions asked and answered during these conversations, but we, the community, have questions that you ignore at these meetings on purpose and you never respond to. Can you please advise us as to where we are supposed to go to report and ask questions to our elected officials who are apparently supposed to be representing us? Because I have a serious problem with the person who's in charge of public health in the township having no reports since the start of this pandemic. It just doesn't make any sense, and I just want some clarity on that. And I'd be willing to waive the rest of my time if anyone would be willing to answer. Anyone? Any elected official want to be able to let me know where I can ask you questions? Because it's, I don't know. What's the point of having you in office if you're not going to be able to provide us a space to where we can ask questions? No? I can keep doing this for the full 2 minutes, I got the patience and the time. Well, you can continue. And while we're on the topic of public health, coronavirus is a serious issue, and you guys aren't talking about it. And nobody has their cameras on, so we don't even know if they're even sitting at their desk or talking to us or paying any attention. Aside from I see the clerk whose camera's on. Anyone want to let us know? We're going to continue to be quiet. Wait for the 2 minutes to be out. I'm going to continue this.
It's 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next up is Mark Kuhner.
He spells his name Kuer.
Hello, board members. My name is Mark Keener, and I've been very interested for the last 3 years in what this township board has been up to. And in the wake of the murder of George Floyd, almost everybody that I know has been engaged in very thoughtful, deep, and difficult conversations about how do we uproot the scourge of racism from our community. That racism is a poison that's not only led to the death of George Floyd, but countless others. It also affects people in many ways, from outright brutality and violence to economic difficulties with getting education, housing, employment, and even getting food. So racism is a terrible scourge destroying our society. And like I said, almost everybody I know is very concerned with addressing this big problem and getting rid of racism in our society. Examples of people who are not engaged in public discourse about getting rid of racism is the Palos Township Board. Instead of trying to get rid of racism, you folks, for the last 3 years, have been encouraging racism. You refuse to censure Sharon Brannigan for her comments. You refuse to push her off of the board. You refuse to publicly address this issue. You guys make it look like racism is okay in Palos Township. But I disagree with you. Palos Township residents do not approve of racism. We don't like it here in this.
2 minutes.
Okay, next we have Paul.
Can you hear me?
Paul, you're unmuted.
Thank you. To continue what Mark Keener said, we've had 3 years of an open racist and an open Islamophobe on the Palos Township Board. We've also had 3 years of board members supporting her lies, including the lies she has told to the media. When Brannigan lies, no township board member will ever call her out on the lies. Instead, your complicity lies in covering up for her. You've also had 3 years of protests from people in the community who are outraged at Brannigan's racism, her lies, and your own inaction. During that 3 years, we've seen her only supporters have been members of a hate group and Arthur Jones, an actual Nazi, who came out to support her because people like that stick together. We've also seen 5 very brave protesters who got arrested for speaking the truth. They got arrested because they're confronting all of you with your own cowardice. I mean, if you're afraid of Brannigan or you're afraid of her voters, that's no excuse, because at a certain point, you have to stand for something. If you don't stand for something, you'll stand for anything. And I don't really expect any response. We've never gotten any real response in the 3 years, other than the racist calling the police every time she can grab her phone out and talking about violence when her own husband was the only one committing any violence over the
2 minutes is up.
Okay, next we have Mohammed.
Good evening. I'm addressing this to the supervisor. I'm reading out of Title II of the Palos Township Code of Ethics. Title II, Chapter 11, Paragraph A. It is a policy of the township that in all cases, its elected and appointed officials and employees perform their duties for the benefit of the citizens in the township. They shall conduct the government of the township with integrity and impartiality without allowing prejudice, favoritism, or the opportunity of personal gain to influence their decisions or actions or to interfere with serving the public interest. This is here. We had this violation. We violated the code of ethics. Responsibilities of public office. They are bound to observe in their official acts and the highest standards of morality and to discharge faithfully to the duties of their office, regardless of their personal considerations, recognizing that public interest must be their primary concern. And public interest is never the primary concern of the Palos Township. Conduct is in both their official and private affairs should be above reproach. Conflict of interest. No official employee shall engage in any business or transaction or shall have any financial or other personal interest, either direct or indirect, which of his or official duties in the public interest. You must listen to these to us as citizens living in the Palos Township. You must listen to the public address. And coming back to the question part, when you said you're not allowed questions, actually in the ordinance number 2018-0-05, in section number 1, paragraph 7, no member of the public seeking to address the board shall be required to provide any information as a condition for speaking during communications from the public, except that any person seeking to ask a question of the board shall provide their name.
Okay, next we have Hussam.
Yeah, first of all, I would love to congratulate and give a shout out to the amazing community members, community leaders, and community activists for going 3 years strong in this campaign. 3 years ago today was the beginning of our campaign, and we're still going at it strong, and we will never stop, and there's no end in sight for this campaign. All right, you can bring armed security guards, you can arrest us, you can have your husband assault us with the door, Supervisor Schuman, or you, Brannigan, you could bring your drunk husband to the township to push us and threaten us and dance while singing white supremacy, and we will not stop. We will keep going. And I know that the next time you have an in-person meeting, we will be there. And I know that you want to keep this going on Zoom because you have more control on Zoom. But trust me, you're not going to hide behind Zoom and behind your screens forever. We will come back and we will continue to go, and we'll keep demanding the resignation of Brannigan, and we'll keep demanding the resignation of all of you at some point. And we will not stop until this township is doesn't have any more racist in it. And we will not stop until we have the people that represent us serving us, and they have our best interest there. It's been 3 years. 3 years, and we have showed you that business will not go as usual. It's been 3 years, and you guys tried every tactic in the book to try to scare us, and we still kept going. And guess what? We were actually the one that did more disturbance to your businesses than you would ever do to us. Nothing you do will ever scare us, and nothing you do will ever stop us. You could invite a hate group like Act for America to the township, and that will not scare us. You could limit the talking point to the talking limit to 2 minutes, but we'll still find ways to shut down the meeting and disrupt your meetings. We will find ways to come to the meeting and make it hell for all of you.
2 minutes is up.
Next up, we have Jeffrey.
Hello. Hello.
You are unmuted.
Okay, thanks, Colleen, and I tried to leave you a couple messages, but they went unscathed there. And also, thumbs up to the Arabic community. I think you guys are on board. The only way you can do anything is vote them out. Anyhow, I've had my ongoing problems with my ditches for a while, and still to no resolve yet since 2018. Each time I get a runaround from April. So I don't know if any of the trustees have received any of my phone calls, because I have yet to have them returned to me. So I guess you don't have to return phone calls or get in touch with people that work for you. So I'd really appreciate if you guys would be a little bit more transparency. And I never see anything about where these job bids are going for all these jobs. Who is bidding on them, or who's doing this? What happened to our website? Don't tell me it's still under construction after 8 months of being under construction. I could have a couple of high schoolers do that thing in probably 1 week. I don't see where you're looking at all this other stuff at. Supposedly you have a lawyer there, and he may be fumbling up the old books there himself. So I'd like to appreciate if I could get some phone calls back from my trustees that I called about my problem, but it doesn't happen. And I can see where everybody's getting mad because this board is not transparency. at all.
Okay, next up we have Tammy.
Hello. Okay, so Sharon Brannigan's hate speech is what brought us here for our sustained protest of the Palos Township for 3 years and counting. As systems of white supremacy maintain the status quo and go unchecked in local government, that is one way the police feel secure and emboldened in their continued violence against Black and brown communities. This includes over-policing Black and brown bodies, using taxpayers' money to hire armed security for a township meeting when there's absolutely no threat is a perfect example of the way systems of white supremacy are embedded in the township government. This kind of racist environment is how George Floyd was able to be murdered without any regard, responsibility, or repercussion. The police know that the local government have their back and they're going to cover for these types of murders. So my ask to the Palos Township is this. You need to publicly denounce white supremacy and commit to anti-racist training for all employees and elected officials, as well as make a statement in support of the Black Lives Matter movement and commit to supporting this movement throughout the township with sustainable actions and not just words. And that's all I have to say on that subject. While I still have my 2 minutes, I would like to say anybody on this call who's interested in running against this board, reach out to me directly. And you mentioned earlier about a food pantry. Colleen, I think you misspoke. The township itself does not run a food pantry. You are a drop-off location for high school kids who need volunteer time. You are not running a food pantry, so don't misinform. And as far as getting the lights
Time
checked,
is up. 2 minutes is up.
Okay, next up we have Brannigan.
Brannigan.
You mean Brannigan is a racist? That's the full name that I have there. Thank you.
You're unmuted.
Yes.
Who is this person?
First, I would like to say that I have questions for all of you. And the fact that you guys refuse to answer the questions, it means that you refuse to be accountable to the community that you're supposed to be serving.
Not right
Let's
now.
Karen, directly. Do you still support the reopening of the state despite seeing the catastrophic spikes in COVID-19 cases and the states have reopened? Do any of you? Do you honestly think that you aren't experiencing endangerment of the community you are supposed to be serving? Or is that just what you want? To endanger the community because it is a community heavily populated with Arabs, Muslims, and people of color. More. Why has the township stayed silent on Black Lives Matter and the Black Lives Matter movement? Is it because the township doesn't believe that Black Lives matter? And if that's the case, does that mean you are going to finally be open and honest about being racist who support other racists? These are questions that the community deserves answers to. The fact that you refuse to answer any questions that anyone has had here today and continue on with these charades, acting like you are doing anything for this community, acting like you are a service, but you are a disservice to this community, is disrespectful to every human being who has to live in the community that you supposedly serve. Furthermore, I would like to say his name is Hassam. Put some damn respect on his name. It has been 3 years we've been doing this. You know what his name is. Acting like you don't know how to even pronounce the names of the community members who have been here non-stop is just another form of racism blatantly for the community to see. It is an act of racism.
Is this person's name? Is that her name? I don't know.
Brannigan. I don't know.
This person's name is Brannigan is a racist. That's her name.
Okay, the next Madam Supervisor you have is Rugged.
Ragad, you are going to be unmuted.
I just want to say We're here every day, every month for the past 3 months. And every month, you never fail to show us your incompetence. You never fail to unanswer our questions. Now, we understand you don't want to answer our questions, fine. What about community members that actually have actual points? I mean, we have actual points, but you're not ignoring us. What about community members with problems in their homes and in the community that really need addressing? Answer them. Also, where's your professionalism? None of you have cameras on. How are we supposed to trust you either way? I mean, what are you hiding? Show your cameras, show your faces. And own up to what you got to say and answer our questions. I'm done, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And next up is Riff.
Hello, my name is Drefka. And, you know, for the past 3 years, there's not a time where we come here and you guys, you know, answer our questions. You guys always leave us with no answers and, you know, that's fine. We're just going to keep on coming. You know, this speaks, we're 37 members here and we've been coming every month and it just shows the momentum of like grassroots organizing and, you know, we're still going to be here no matter how long it takes. And like the other people have said, you guys have said nothing on Black Lives Matter. And so I want to ask you guys why you have not said anything about that. And also, I already know you guys are not going to answer this question, so I'll use the remainder of my time to say the lyrics of Where's the Love. So here we go. Where's the love when a child gets murdered or a cop gets knocked down? Black lives not now. Everybody matter to me, all races. Y'all don't like what I'm saying. Haterade, tall cases. Everybody hates somebody. Guess we all racist. Black Eyed Peas do a song about love and y'all hate this. All these protests with different colored faces. We was all born with a heart. Why we gotta chase it? And every time I look around, every time I look up, every time I look down, no one's on common ground. Where's the love? And if you never speak truth, you never know how love sounds. People killing, people dying, children hurting.
Okay, next up we have Janan. You are unmuted. In a minute, you are unmuted.
Hello, yes, I am unmuted. I want to thank Rifka and everybody else for joining this call today, and just our community in general. Like you guys said, we're showing up every single month for the past 3 years. Again, that shows not only like the effort of grassroots organizing, but that our community always continuously shows up for each other. We protect each other. We do what our trustees are supposed to do. They can't even answer our questions, but we're there for each other month after month. And with that, I actually want to take this time to say the definition of what a representative is. You guys are all representatives, right? We voted, well, not necessarily me, but you got voted in. And what is a representative? A representative is a person chosen or appointed to act or speak for one another or others. And it's really interesting because your actions, what I've seen for the past 3 years, I went to the first meeting 3 years ago, and I'm still here today. And what I've seen is completely the opposite of this definition. Not only have you refused to actually care about this community, give in to demands what this community wants and represent us to what we deserve, but even simple things like issues that are going on in our community, you've refused to take a stance on them during the hardest time of our communities. I think in this past few years, whether it be pandemics, revolutions, standing up for our Black brothers and sisters, you have been completely silent. And this just speaks to the opposite, how you guys represent the complete opposite of what a representative is. With that, honestly, this is disappointing, and I just can't wait to vote you guys out. I yield my time.
Okay. We have Delia. You are up.
I am a graduate student at DePaul University. I study politics and policy, and I was born and raised within this community. And I am Palestinian, I am Muslim, and I want to make sure that you see my voice and you hear my name. Like I said, I study politics and policy. I'm a graduate student at DePaul. I have lived in this area my whole life, and I also participate in elections and campaigns within our area. And I want to make sure that you know, those of us who do study in this area and are experts in this area are completely appalled. All over Cook County and beyond, we know about what's happening here. We talk about it all the time. It's absolutely unacceptable that each of you trustees will not force her to resign. It's unacceptable. Each of you trustees, Nolan, all of you should speak out against what she's saying, and all of you should force her to resign. You have the power to do it. And if you don't, we will find ways to overtake this trusteeship and this town council. We will find the ways. We're not first generation. We're not second generation. We've been here a lot longer than that, and we pay our taxes. We own businesses in this area. We will come up and represent this area. We're not leaving, and if you don't want to speak out and make her resign, we will overtake this. We will. There's no option. There's no other option. I will yield the rest of my time, but I want to make sure you know that everybody in our region knows about the problem here. And we are working on ways to fix this problem, and it is a problem. I will yield the rest of my time, and I will let somebody else speak. I hope as you can see, there's plenty of people that are here that are willing to speak.
2 minutes. Yeah. Give up your time.
Madam Supervisor,
Yes.
I believe I saw the person named Moto G6 raised his hand early on. Does he wish to speak?
Okay.
Moto, raise your hand again if you'd like to speak. Okay, let me find you in the list.
Yeah, he's in.
Okay, he's asked to unmute.
Okay, am I unmuted?
You are.
You are.
Thank you. My name's Doug Fellows. I would like to speak a little bit about hatred. Wisdom comes in many forms and from many cultures. Often the same wisdom comes from different cultures in varying but still recognizable shapes. We may say that wisdom, whether concrete, like how to make a sword, or abstract, like the Ten Commandments, has universal applications and is not cultural in intent or usage. The piece of cultural wisdom I would like to share this evening is found in many literatures. I first heard it as a lesson taught by a Russian grandfather to his grandson. The version I found online is attributed to a Cherokee family. It is a short fable, but I believe it's clear, and it certainly is a transcultural fable. An old grandfather is teaching his grandson about life. "A fight is going on inside me," he said to the boy. "It is a terrible fight, and it is between two wolves. One is evil. He is anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, racism, false pride, and ego. The other wolf is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, understanding, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside you, grandson, and inside every person too." The grandson thought about this for a moment, and then he asked his grandfather, "Which wolf will win?" "The one you feed." Please think about this. Thank you for the time.
Okay, I believe we have Fatima.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Hey, my Arab community and everybody that's supporting the Arab community. I want to say thank you guys very much for coming out and always showing us support, because that's what people do for each other. I just want to say a little quote that the Prophet Muhammad said, And there's a very, very inspirational quote. It says, all mankind is from Adam and Eve. An Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab, nor a non-Arab has any superiority over an Arab. Also, a white has no superiority over a black, nor a black has any superiority over a white, except by piety and good action. Unfortunately, Sharon Brannigan feels that she does have superiority, and her quote unquote white Nazis feel that they believe that they're better than we are. Unfortunately, you will never be better than us. We will overcome this. We will strive, and we will get you out of that office. You and your fellow comrades that support your racism and support everything that's wrong in this community. And when you guys are out, the community will start to thrive, because unfortunately they are not thriving under your fellowships and under your quote unquote trustees. So that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Okay, and next up we have Thayer.
Hello, everybody. My name is Thad. There was a Black Lives Matter protest in Palos Heights, June 12th, and to my knowledge, none of you trustees were there. Why not? Why, when the people who represent us and who should be advocating for us, I'm not even a Black American and I am noticing this, you guys weren't even there. You guys are not publicly denouncing white supremacy, which is alive and well. You know why? Because you guys are letting it thrive. Like, why? Why is that? We live in a very diverse community with us holding hand in hand, from Arab, Mexican, Black, white. We are standing together strong against you guys, because you guys should be better, much, much better. I'd like to yield my time. Just get that in your head, please.
Okay, Trustee Woods, do you see any other hands that I don't?
The 30-minute time period has expired.
Okay, thank you all for your comments this evening. At this time, motion for adjournment would be in order.
So moved, Jeans.
I will second. Trustee Jeans will give Woods the second. All in favor?
No, got to be a roll call.
Oh, got to be roll call. We're on Zoom. Roll call for the acceptance of adjournment at 7:14.
7:13. Okay.
Oh, 13. Okay. I'm looking at
Trustee Jeans and then,
yes.
Trustee Jeans and Trustee Woods seconded.
okay, thank you. Trustee Woods,
Yes.
Trustee Brannigan,
Yes.
Trustee Riley,
Yes.
Trustee Jeans,
Yes.
Supervisor Schumann.
Yes.
Ayes have it, motion carried 5-0, meeting adjourned.
Okay. Thank you all. Everybody stay safe. Meeting's adjourned.